today, but in all seriousness, man, pretty excited to have you on. Got a little whiff of what your story was, and I was like, oh, dude, we got to share this guy where he's at, give him some love, and learn more. So I guess we'll take it from the top, Nate. Like, when did you decide that you were going to be in Spokane and we should hang out? Like, that's the first part. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, it kind of happened super random. The way like we originally connected was actually through Jeff. So I bought some stuff from him on Instagram. He sold me an archery release, and which I lost already.
Nice.
So I don't know if there's like any sort of return policy or anything from Jeff, but
Definitely not.
okay. But I was messaging Jeff, and then I was going to be up here and wanted to pick his brain about some stuff. And then he was like, dude, talk to Dan. He'd love to have you over. And yeah, I've been a huge Elkshape fan. So I was like stoked out of my mind at the opportunity to come out.
That's cool. What do you do, man? Like, what's your deal? Like, where do you live? What's your story? Are you married? What do you do for work? Yeah, just kind of get a vibe on your background.
Yeah, I have ADHD, so I like do a bunch of different stuff. I'm like not good at finishing, but I'm really good at starting stuff. So I sell solar, like door to door. I also do like fiber internet. I have like a small team of guys that I manage for fiber internet. And then I also just started a pest control company in Boise too. So my wife and I have been in Texas for the last few years, just moved up to Idaho. We're in Nampa right now, so that Treasure Valley area. But yeah, kind of door-to-door space is where.
When did you
I'm at.
figure out that you were like pretty good door-to-door salesman?
So I started in door-to-door. So I'm Mormon. Went on Mormon mission.
Wait, you're LDS.
Yeah.
I don't think
LDS.
we're supposed to say Mormon.
So yeah, you're not supposed to say Mormon. I'm gonna say Mormon till the day I die. But yes, you're not supposed to say Mormon anymore.
Is it rude for me to assume you're from Utah?
No, yeah, I'm from Oregon. I'm one of the ones not from Utah.
Oh.
Yep, we made it to Oregon.
You do exist.
Yep.
No, Boise's got LDS vibes, and Idaho Falls, and apparently Oregon too.
Yep.
We have a lot of LDS friends. All right, so you're from Oregon. Do you want to say where?
Yeah, Baker City. Yep,
What?
small town, Eastern Oregon.
I've been through there a few. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Seriously. Like, don't go there, everybody, but it's awesome.
Yeah, Baker's a cool spot. Like, it's super close to the mountains. There's like not much there, but it's a cool spot, and it's an impossible place to get elk tags. Like, you will not draw if you put in for any of the units around there. So I just don't think it's even worth your time to apply.
It's over the counter.
No, not anymore.
Oh.
Not anymore. It went to draw.
You're right.
It
I'm
went
wrong.
to draw.
Okay, fair enough. So what year did you graduate high school?
So I graduated high school in 2016. Went to Kentucky on a mission. Spent 2 years back in Kentucky. Came home. Went to BYU, Idaho. So I went to college for a couple years. And that's like when I started like the door-to-door thing. So I went out to Virginia, was my first summer, and I sucked. I was not good.
You had in your mission, were you doing out door-to-door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
That had to have been training grounds.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot different. Like, it doesn't transfer probably as well as like people would think, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Like Kentucky, no one really wants to like give up smoking. So like, yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of rejection, but I don't know. For me, I think they're like very different.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. So I went to Virginia my first summer for the door-to-door thing, sold pest control there, was not good. Came back, went to school again, decided to do another summer because I really wanted to figure that out. And I went to Kentucky that summer to sell pest control and was not good my second summer too. So I like basically got kicked in the teeth for 2 years in a row. And I came back and I was really bad at college. Like, dude, I don't even know. If you look at my GPA, it's like probably like 2. Like, I have no clue what it was. Like,
really?
I'm not a good student. Just because I don't care about like formal education stuff and don't put any effort into it.
Okay.
So I remember, that year I was going to go out and do sales again, and I was dating my wife. So we met my second summer. Right before that summer, I was taking an accounting class at BYU, Idaho. The professor, it was funny because he hated me and my wife was his favorite student in the class. And I saw her at the pool one day and I hit her with a classic line that works every time. Hey, aren't you in my accounting class? And it sealed the deal. So
really,
yeah, we started dating. I flew her out to Kentucky that summer. She's from up here in Washington, so she's from Yakima.
Okay.
Yep. And so we started dating, And December we got engaged. I was gonna go out and do sales again for a third year, but like I was not good. So like I had 2 years before where I wasn't good. Year 3, it was funny. I remember we were about to get married, and I was gonna start early because I had like no funds. Like I was freaking broke.
Yeah.
And I got my car. It was funny. Right before I left, my wife was like, "So what are you gonna do like for food this week? You should buy groceries before you go so you can like save money and you're not eating out." And I was like calculating it on my phone. I'm like, okay, it's how many miles to Texas? How much is the average cost per gallon? And I was like, okay, so I have enough money to drive to Texas. I don't have enough money to eat along the way or buy groceries right now. And so we're like walking around Walmart, and this is just like something we always like laugh about and remember. And I was like not buying anything. And she was like, dude, why aren't you buying groceries? And I was like, well, I don't really have enough money for gas and groceries right now. So she was like, dude, I'll get you groceries. So I got to Texas, and I've got this screenshot on my phone. Like I just always remember this. I had $68 when I got to Texas. And so I needed to like buy gas and stuff so I could get to work. But it was lucky because it was my birthday week. So I was just eating for free at like all the fast food places that give you like free food. And for whatever reason that summer, it just like clicked. I think my back was against a wall, and it clicked, and I figured out the door-to-door thing. And we had a really good summer that summer. And I went back to school for a little bit, and then it started going back down to Texas in the winter. And I just told my wife, like, school's not for me. I'm not going to get a degree. Let's just drop out and move to Texas. So we did, and we lived in New Braunfels while we were down there. So we were there for like 2.5, 3 years. And then we just do this thing. So my wife and I are like, we really believe that like once we get comfortable, we need to like uproot and change everything. So like we got comfortable in Idaho, and we just uprooted, changed everything, moved to Texas, dropped out of school, and like went all in on that. And then we got really comfortable, and we loved New Braunfels. Like we miss it so much. I don't know whether or not it was a mistake to move to Idaho. We just really miss Texas, but we got comfortable there. So we decided to uproot, move to Idaho, and start a new business. And so now we're in Boise, and we're in the middle of that.
That's a lot to handle, man.
Sorry,
like
yeah.
it's great. I mean, no, I love the cadence. So your wife's obviously, what's her vibe? Like, what does she do for work or whatever, and what is she into?
So she does like a ton. Like my wife is like a million miles an hour, like doing stuff. So she does photography. She owns a jewelry business that she sells online and does markets. And then she also right now she is trying to kind of turn around a business in Nampa that's not doing well. So they hired her to come in and like start event planning. She does the bookkeeping. They're not making any money right now, and they want to be making money, or close their doors. So she's like turning around this sports complex right now. And then she also cleans up after me, and we have 2 dogs that she does a bunch with. So yeah, she's always going too.
Okay. The door-to-door sales stuff, I have a couple buddies that do that, and they're hunters.
Yeah.
And I think they only really, like, they don't love it, but they love the money that they can make.
Yeah.
In the time that they can afford to go hunting.
Totally.
And so like they've been on this pod. I mean, like they'll just literally throw the fifth wheel, drive down to whatever town, and that's where they're gonna be, and they'll work big time. Like they'll work, and their hours aren't great. Like they're gonna go hard all day to catch the folks that are home, which probably post-COVID more people work from home, which is nice for what you do. But they also work weekends when people are home. Like they literally work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And they do it. They live out of a trailer. They get doors shut in their face. They get told to F off, but they also meet cool people or whatever. And then they make really good money. So like, is it really that good? I mean, can it be pretty, whatever you would define? Like you could have a lot of success. Success for you could be like, I make X amount of money, or I get this much time off, or I'm leading the life I've always wanted to live, or I just love what I do. Mm-hmm. Are you happy?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like that's like, so my big thing is like, I don't know, this sounds like really selfish, but I like to just like wake up and like just do whatever I want every day. And I like that door to door has allowed me to facilitate that. So like, and my wife too. Like my wife is awesome. Like there's never ever been a time where I tell my wife, hey, I'm going to go do this thing, and she questions it. She's super supportive. She's all in on everything. But that's like what door to door does for you. Like as far as like a career, like I don't answer to anybody. I set my own schedule every day. There was like last year, I mean, this was bad. I probably shouldn't do stuff like this, but last year there was like 6 months where I pretty much did nothing. But yeah, like I like having a vehicle to be able to buy yourself time, because that's what I really think it comes down to. I think that like working is like, I just think of money as a tool to buy yourself time to do the things that you want to do. Like, we don't have kids yet, but I couldn't imagine having a 9 to 5 and being locked down to a schedule and missing my kids' stuff. And so I just feel like door to door is a great tool to be able to own your schedule and control what you're going to do every day.
Okay. So let's talk about, you don't sell solar anymore, do you?
No, not as much.
Okay. So let me get into that, because I've had solar people at my door, and for whatever reason, I just don't get mad at door to door salesmen, just because I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Straight up though, like, so if you're selling panels, like how, like somebody listening, like how much money could you potentially make if you went out, let's say you're halfway decent at sales. Like, I know I could do it personally. I could sell.
Yeah.
But I do not want to.
Yeah.
If I did want to, like, could I hit it hard for 6 months and make a year's worth of wages and shut down for 6 months?
You
if
could
I
hit it
wanted
hard.
to.
You could hit it hard for 1 month and do that.
Really?
Yeah. So solar is like by far the best vehicle right now to make quick money, door to door wise. I don't mean this in like an arrogant way or anything, but I've had months where I've made like over 60 grand selling solar. And it's doable. Like, there's sales teams out there, and that's not like, I'm not top, like I'm probably not even top 10%. Like, I'm not anything special in door to door, but you will have times where like you could go out with solar right now from zero, and this month you could easily clear $50,000 your first month selling.
Wow.
If you plug yourself into the right vehicle. You have to find a good team. You have to find honest salesmen that are going to do good business, and find a reputable company that's going to provide the customers a good experience. But as long as you've got those things and the training is there, yeah, I mean, there's sales teams down in Texas where dudes are pulling in 6-figure months regularly. Yep.
Yeah, so I guess if you're ambitious, have some hustle, maybe know how to talk to people.
Yep.
Not afraid of rejection. What's the worst? Do you have any like terrible stories of door to door where you're like, I almost stopped doing it because of this? I mean, you just told them all the good. Let's give them some of the bad.
So that's the thing. Like, so I've developed this mindset about stuff in life that like I'm really unrealistic about stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm like unrealistically positive. And so I only look for like good things to happen. So it's funny, like I'll come back, like when I'm selling solar, I'll go out and knock, get a bunch of leads. And the way it works is like, you'll knock a door, set up an appointment, and come back. And if you look at my appointment notes on every single person I talk to, it's like, oh, this person is super interested. They love it. They're going to easily, like, it's going to be a super easy appointment. But that's on every single one. And it's funny because like if I go over my appointment notes with people, they're like, dude, why you wrote the same thing for every person? But in my mind, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And I try to approach everything in life like that. It's like my wife will be like, dude, just be real about this thing right now. Cause it's like funny, like men and women are different about some of that stuff, but like, I don't know. So I don't really have like anything negative that ever happens to me. Every once in a while, you'll have someone like chest you up. Actually, funny enough, you know who I hate knocking on their doors? Mormons.
No kidding.
Oh, they are cheap. They are cheap. They're so cheap. They're not buying what you're selling. So you just move on to the next house.
What? Nah, man, I guess. There's... So,
as a Mormon, I'm saying that.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Pest control. Does that mean like, hey, we're going to kill all the mice that are in your field? Like, what is pest control?
Yeah, so we're doing like we're spraying houses for like ants, spiders. We're taking care of like mice, just kind of like the basic like nuisance pests, wasps, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you pretty passionate about that?
No. I'm not passionate about like killing bugs. But I believe that if you want to start a business and grow it, I am passionate that pest control is the best thing you can do, because it's a service that everyone has. There's, no matter where you live, there's new build houses everywhere. And if you go into a new build neighborhood, that's just one thing that everyone's going to sign up for. Like, they're going to have a pest control company because they don't want the spiders, they don't want the wasps, they don't want the stuff on their house. And you can start that with like almost zero capital and just grow it as hard as you want to work it. And it's just something where you're setting people up on a recurring payment. You're building a business that is yours. So that's why I'm doing it. Like, I just realized, I feel old, but I'm only 26, but I just felt like at 26, I need to start my own thing. I'm definitely making less doing the pest control thing than I would if I was still selling solar or something else. But I'm growing my own business that 5-10 years from now is going to be at a point where I'm not doing too much, but I have this big base built up.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to set myself up. Like we don't have kids. We want to, within the next few years, we want to start having kids. And I want to be setting a foundation right now so that when we have the kids, I have all the time in the world to do whatever I want with them and still be able to manage like all the other stuff I like to do.
I like it. Now, roots wise, you're in Boise area. Mm-hmm. Is that where you want to put down, you think, because you guys do like to move a lot? Yep. Where do you want to raise your kids, I guess?
So we are going to be snowbirds. We're really passionate about it. Like we're going to live in Austin.
I am totally into that, what you're saying right now, as you were.
We really want to live in Austin. My wife, it's funny, like there's not a day that goes by where we're not like texting about Texas. We're talking about Texas. We miss it a lot. Yeah. So we want a snowbird. There's like, there's just a bunch of stuff we miss about Texas.
Is that where you guys weren't in Austin? You were in a suburb of Austin?
We were like 40 minutes south of Austin. We just think Austin's really cool.
Did you hang out with Rogan at Archery Country?
One time I was at Archery Country. Seriously? And I saw Joe Rogan and he was like, from me to you, I could have touched him, but,
you played it cool?
Oh, I played it cool. I didn't talk to him. There was some other guy.
Did he have security?
No, he was just there. He was just hanging out.
Impressive.
Yeah, he was just walking around, and this other guy got a picture with him, and I was like, oh, gosh, dude. I was jealous. I've never fangirled, but I fangirled super hard.
No, that's cool. I mean, I would want a picture with Joe maybe, but I also really don't want to mess with what he's got going on. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, doesn't have a security team, and he's just at an archer shop. Leave the guy alone. I don't know. It's cool, though, that he was there. You were there. You're going to miss Austin. I love Texas a lot. I mean, took Jeff down there this December. He went with my buddy Cody, and we just hunted our asses off, and I just love Texas. Yeah. I like the people. I think, for the most part, Texas is like probably my favorite go-to state.
Yep.
And I would totally live there if there was a single mountain there, like a real mountain, you know. There's some mountains, but... Have you been to West Texas much?
My mom's from El Paso, so we go down to El Paso all the time.
You know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's vast.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to El Paso. I've heard it's crazy.
Like, I don't know. I don't remember, like, last time I was there was, like, 2016. So, I don't know. I have, like, a hard time remembering yesterday. So, I don't know.
Okay, well, then I guess we're going to get into your journey. So, for those listening, I guess Nate has lost over 70 pounds in the last...
Oh, I would say, like, year. Let's call it year.
Yeah. That's kind of a good cadence.
Yeah.
If you were to say, like, I lost 70 pounds in the last 2 months, it'd be like, oh, boy, that's going to be tough to keep off. But, give us a story, like, kind of on your journey, your fitness or whatever, and kind of how things are going for you.
So I've always been fat, like my whole life. Like I wasn't like good at sports growing up. Like I wasn't like zero athletic background. Right. Like, and I married my wife. I was like, there was a while where I got like super, super into working out in college. I wasn't doing like anything else besides that. But I bet I met my wife at like 219, 220, somewhere around there. And, from that point to 20, let's see, it would have been 22, like let's call it November 22. Sorry, this time I gotta like try to keep the timeline straight, but November 22, I was like looking at pictures, we were on vacation, and I'm like looking at pictures of me on the beach, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, I'm freaking fat. And I was like 300 pounds then. So I'm huge, and I had gone, so like backtrack a little bit. So that September, so I grew up hunting. Like I grew up, but we didn't do like real hunting. Like we drove out to a field, we'd shoot a deer in an alfalfa field, and that was it. We'd shoot an elk in an alfalfa field.
That was your style of hunting, or that's what the culture of hunting that you were exposed to.
Exactly.
There's variations.
Yeah.
That's why we can't say that's not hunting.
That's fair.
Because then some guy will say, what, oh, you used a rifle, that's not hunting. Well, you used a compound bow, that's not hunting.
Yeah.
You didn't use a recurve, or you didn't use a longbow, or like we don't need to segment, like you weren't doing backcountry hunting.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So I was living in Texas, and I started watching your videos, honestly. And I've always like followed Cam Hanes too, and like been a big Cam Hanes fan. And then I just realized, like, you know what? Like I've never done like the backcountry thing with a bow. And so I'm going to do it. And I started I literally got on Google and I typed in state with most elk because I wanted to kill something. And obviously Colorado pops up.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, dude, this is going to be perfect. So I went down to archery country in Austin, bought a bow. And honestly, too, this is like a plug for those guys. They're sick.
Is this 22?
Yes. Yep. Those guys, super sick. I'll shout a couple of them out, like Tank that works down there, Tommy that works down there, Jordan. Dude, those guys are so helpful. I went in, they got me set up, they taught me stuff, and it was so non-intimidating. If there's anyone that's close to Austin that's kind of thinking about it, just go talk to them. They're super nice. It's not like, hey, we know all this stuff about archery and we're gonna gatekeep whatever. No, super, super sick. They helped me a ton.
I love hearing that. That makes me smile. That's cool.
It was really, really helpful. So they got me all set up. And so me and my brother-in-law, we drove up to Colorado. And at this point, I'm fat. I'm 300 pounds eating Buc-ee's sandwiches and Little Debbie. It was bad. So we get up there and I didn't realize, I've never spent time at elevation or anything. And we base camped at 9,000 and started hiking. And so we were putting in miles and I'm just struggling. It was tough. It was really tough, but we didn't see any elk. We had a lot of fun. It was hard. But that was kind of a big wake up call. And I realized oh wow, this might be easier if I wasn't 300 pounds and wearing size 2XL on my Sitka gear and barely being able to button it up and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then I got back from our vacation in November and Chub Challenge was starting right then. And that just was really, really big, motivator for me because it's 4 weeks. I was doing structured challenges type things, but it was cool because I was also starting to see results. Because the biggest thing, and anyone that's listening to this that wants to start losing weight, the workouts are cool. The workouts are super, super helpful. But the biggest thing is you have to fix is in the kitchen, and that's where you're gonna start seeing results. If I'm such a big proponent, if you start following macros and track what you eat, you can play around with it and you'll get results every time. I think there's a few things that might come in the way of that, but 9 out of 10 times following macros you'll get results, and that was a huge motivator for me. And then I just started, I kept following, I kept staying consistent. I've been able to lose weight, I've been able to keep it off, and I've been able to consistently keep going down.
So you've basically lost over 70 pounds in just over a year, and you're saying you got into the idea of going elk hunting. You went elk hunting. You went all in, bought all the gear, sent it.
Yep.
And then got home and were like, dang, I think that would be more enjoyable if I could lose some pounds.
Yep.
And then that wasn't enough. And then it was looking at the pictures of you with your shirt off on your last vacation in November, and the Chub Challenge popped up, and you're like, I'm going for it. Is that correct?
Totally. Yep.
Okay. And then you took it through December, did the whole December, and then just built off that momentum?
Yeah. Essentially. And one thing, so now what I'm doing is I have different things that I've always wanted to do, but I don't think I'm alone in this. I've always wanted to do stuff when I'm ready. So for example, ultra marathon, I always have wanted to run an ultra, and I always want to do it when I'm ready to run an ultra. And it was funny. I met this guy at church and he was like, dude, all my friends and I are running this ultra. You want to do it with us? And I was like, oh, dude, I'm not going to be. This was in just this past December.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, no. And I hadn't been running. November, December, I was not running at all. We were in between houses. We were moving. That was actually a super stressful process, the moving. When we got to Idaho, we lived in an Airbnb for a month with our dogs and all of our stuff in the U-Haul. There was a bunch of hiccups with that.
Oh yeah.
But
there always is when it comes to moving. Moving sucks.
Yep. So I'd put on a little bit of weight, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll sign up for that. And I did my ultra just this past March. I did my first ultra, and I wasn't ready. Even in preparation, I ended up going to Oklahoma a bunch and was back and forth. My training was tough, to get in all the training I needed to and get the mileage, but I still did it. And crossing the finish line, I just realized oh, you don't have to wait until you're ready. Just do it. Just commit to it. And through that process, you will grow, and you will realize that you're capable of that stuff right now. And yeah, I don't know.
This doesn't mean you shouldn't train. He's not saying that, but
train. Train.
But yeah, just no more excuses. I'm just gonna have to do it, and
Yep.
You did it. That's cool. What is the secret sauce behind getting to 300 pounds? I don't mean that in a condescending way.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be important to hear from somebody who, maybe you said you were, your words, not mine, fat your whole life. Mm-hmm. Not athletic, which we just worked out together. And I know you're athletic because we just did movements in my gym that require coordination, athleticism, and that you'd never really done before. And you were moving so well that maybe you were an athlete. You just didn't get to express it because you were believing this narrative that you're just a fat kid. But how did you said you were 215 in 2019 when you met your wife.
Yep.
And in 2022, you were 300 pounds.
Yep.
So I guess I'm just asking, looking back, what did that disastrous, rough road look like for you? How did you gain so much weight so fast?
Dude, and that's like the crazy thing is like, you don't think about it, right? Like, so one thing that didn't help is I live next door to Buc-ee's in Texas. You've been to Buc-ee's?
That's the gas station?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like you're in a rush to get to work. It's easier to go buy a burrito at Buc-ee's than it is to make food. And you just do that. And then every weekend you go out to eat 3 times. And you don't even think about that. And you're just stacking on calories in the calorie bank. I was driving like 2 to 2.5 hours one way to work every day. So I'm putting 5 hours in my car. So my step count was probably like 4,000 maybe. And I was going to the gym in the mornings too. That's a crazy thing. Like I'm going to the gym the whole time I'm gaining weight, but I'm not structured with my training. So I'm just like going and like hitting kind of like a bro split, no cardio and not giving a crap about my macros. And I'm eating like gas station stuff every day. And it's just those calories every day, they just add up. And that mixed with being sedentary, like it just compounds and it's just super easy to snowball and you don't even think about it.
So literally you just kind of wake up one day and you're like, I'm at 300. Holy crap.
Yeah. You're buying like I was buying 2XL, like, cause my XL clothes weren't fitting. So then it's like, oh, I need bigger shirts. And then your bigger shirts start getting tight. And then the wake up call that you should realize if you're like tight in a 2XL Columbia PFG shirt, those shirts are huge. The 2XL Columbias are big.
Yeah.
So that's like a good wake up call.
So then I guess the next question is like, since you were at 300, you're at 215, 220?
Right. Today I'm like 235 right now.
Okay. So you're 235. What's your advice for those that are like, man, I want to shrink fat cells.
Yeah.
I want to feel better about myself. I want to be proud of myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to have struggle with insecurity and I don't want to have that, confidence shattered. What are clues looking back that led you down the road of success? Maybe talk about what does success look like for you? Is this sustainable, what you're doing now going forward? Are you going to be the guy in 3 years from now that maybe something bad happens and you go back to your old ways? And every time guys go back to their old ways, it's like, then you'll be 330.
Yep.
Then you'll be 400.
Yep.
So yeah, it kind of talk. I mean, this isn't the funnest stuff to talk about, but to me, it matters.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a few things. So one thing I think is you have to have clear goals and you have to have what that looks like. So like right now, so I'm 235 right now. I'm like tracking my macros and I'm really on top of that and I'm cutting down. I want to get under 200. Once I'm under 200, I'll probably reevaluate, kind of see where I'm at with everything. But you need to have clear goals, number one, and what that looks like for you. But then I think behind the goals, you have to have something. You can't just, at least for me, it is so much more powerful to say, I want to lose weight because of this than to say, I want to lose weight and that'll be cool. Because like you think all these things or whatever, but like the performance side of things, I feel like affects the weight loss and it drives you to that. So I ran an ultra in March at 260 pounds essentially in March. And my next ultra is July 27th. I'm going to run that one under 220 and I'm going to feel so much better.
Yeah, you are.
My knees are going to feel better.
So you're basically going to do another ultra, but be 40 pounds less than the prior one.
Yep.
And good on you to like not wave the white flag. And you did that ultra in March.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just went and signed up for another one like that.
Yep. I did not. So it's funny. I crossed the finish line at that ultra, and I told my wife. So we're at the starting line. I said, dude, I don't know like how long this is gonna take me. I would say 2:00. I'll be done by 2. That's like 6 hours or something. I don't know. I never ran a 50K before. And then she shows up at 1 because she's like, my wife trusts me. She has a lot of faith in me, and she's like, I think he's going to finish faster than he told me. So she shows up at the line at 1, and I had no service start to finish of that race.
Oh.
And so she's waiting there at 1, watching people come in. I'm not there. And then finally, like 4:00, I'm coming across the finish line, or maybe 4:30. I don't know what time I finished. And I came across, and my wife is there, and she's like, oh, finally. And she's so stoked for me and stuff. I was so pissed off. I don't know if I've ever been that pissed off as when I finished that race. My whole body was hurting. I was like, I came across, I grabbed my medal, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, dude, we need to get out of here right now. Let's go back to the hotel. I'm freaking pissed. So I went through, and then on the way back, she's like, so you're not doing this again? And I was like, no. Oh, no. Gosh, I am not doing this again. And then now I have another one I'm signed up for. So after that initial shock,
dude, there's levels to things like, I will never do that again. And then like you kind of, a little bit of time goes by, and you're like, we should do that again. I can relate that to a couple of elk I've killed so far from where my truck is.
Yep.
And it hurts so bad to get load after load. And I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And then I literally can't even remember the pain anymore. It's like,
yep.
I can't wait to do it again. It's so weird. Good for you. So signing up for performance, chasing performance, aesthetics will follow.
Yeah.
Really, all your results come from in the kitchen. Being active is just part of the ingredients, but the main objective is to really dial in your macros.
Yep.
Do you have a macro profile that seems to jive with you and what you're trying to do with running?
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's like a tough balance, right? Because like I'm increasing my mileage weekly right now. So like this week will be like a 35-mile week.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a delicate balance because I don't want to be like dead the rest of the day, but I still want to have like carbs to run. But I just know I do better with lower carbs as far as like trying to hit my goals, like with the scale and with stripping off body fat, but I'm still lifting. Like I'm lifting 5 days a week right now. So I don't know. I think I don't want to give like a blanket of like follow this because it's different for everybody.
No, I think people understand that.
But yeah, I think it's a balance where you have to see it. And if you go a full week with no results, I don't know, at least for me, I think you should play with some stuff. Like, and I don't know if that's like what everyone follows or not, but for me, I like looking at evidence and like I realized like, okay, so my macros this week, if I let's say 2,400 calories a day this week and nothing happened and I can feel it, like if I feel a little heavier or whatever, okay, like maybe let's back that off a little bit. And I think you can kind of play with that.
So what's your total grams of carbs, or what percentage of those 2,400 calories will be carbs?
Oh man, I don't know percentages. Right now I'm eating like 2,100 calories a day. And then the way I look at it is, so I'll eat 21 to 2,200 calories a day. I make sure I eat my 200 grams of protein. And then I try to keep my carbs somewhere in the ballpark of like 150 to 200.
Okay.
And then I just fill in the gaps. So like I think the way I look at it is like when you plan your macros, have a calorie goal, have a protein goal that you're going to hit no matter what.
And then kind of backfill.
And then backfill.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess you're always kind of food encounters you're looking for. Like I just gave you a scoop of brute strength. So if you're tracking or doing a food journal, that's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I just made you drink carbs, but I think it's got 20 grams of protein, 17 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
So
I'm not, and that's the thing. Like people get scared of carbs. Like,
yeah.
I'm not scared of carbs. We just worked out super hard.
Yeah.
I ran this morning before we came and worked out.
Yeah.
So like I'm not scared of carbs. You just have to use them. It's a tool. Like I think if you work them in around your training, that's smarter than if you save your carbs up until the end of the night and then you eat a bag of Nerds gummy clusters before you go to bed.
That ain't no way to live.
No.
Yeah. So how far did you run this morning?
Oh, I just did like a mile and a half. I knew we were going to get after it today, so I didn't want to go too hard.
You put a little bit in, and then what did you think about our training session? Like, is that what you've been doing?
No, that's a lot different than what I've been doing.
Okay.
I really liked it. So, I think like the CrossFit style is cool. I kind of dabble in that, but I haven't done like much. But I thought it was really cool to like get the heart rate up, and then back it off, and then get it up again. Like I noticed when I was on the assault bike, I got up to 188.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it like comes down really quick, but it's cool to like push that upper limit, because I feel like sprinting is something that not a lot of people do, and it's hard if you haven't been doing much sprinting. But you can like get on an assault bike and you can get your heart rate up, and it's not that taxing on your body, like on your soft tissue.
Agreed. I think the assault bike, it always gets my heart rate up, but I think like we had a theme of, we were definitely pulling today.
Yeah.
I mean, we did deads, we did seal rows, we did pull-ups, by the way, nice strict pull-ups.
Thanks.
No assist. Really respect that. I think pull-ups is a great like pull-ups is something that everyone should be able to do. We just believe in them, like for relative strength.
Yep.
And we did some D-balls. What'd you think of D-balls pulling off the ground?
I've never done those before. That was fun.
Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Then we did more pulling. We did barbell cycling, hang power cleans, 10 reps in a row, kind of on a structured clock, like every 2 minutes. A few rounds of that, pretty heavy towards the end, pretty grippy.
Yeah.
Get your heart rate up. What was your heart rate on that? Did you have a monitor on?
I think I got up to like 150 during those.
I felt like those got my heart rate up pretty good. And then we did the conditioning piece with front squats, the assault bike, and box jump overs, and in and out in about an hour.
Yeah.
Pretty productive hour.
Yep.
So that's Elkshape training. We're going to get you a membership. I was thinking it would probably be like your ace in the hole. I think that's how I said it to you. I was like, hey, I think you're going to plateau, sooner or later, because especially like going from 260 to 235, like that's a big plateau type area, and you just crush through it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe 235 will be his plateau, or maybe it won't. We don't know. But we do know that I think if you start sprinkling in this Elkshape training fairy dust, since you are an elk hunter, I think it will probably continue to help you work into that maintenance ideal weight where you feel good, you look good, you recover fast, you have energy, and you don't have to be obsessed.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I just think the way you guys train promotes performance. And I think that there's too many people that are doing a bodybuilding split and they're never going to step on stage.
Right.
And so it's like, dude, if that's not what you're doing, like, let's look at some of this mobility stuff. Let's get your heart rate up. Let's do some like the D-ball stuff. That's cool. Like, I've never done that, but I can see how picking up that D-ball, if you pick up a 100-pound D-ball 10 times in a row, you can go pick up a 50-pound bag of concrete and not worry about hurting your back.
1,000%. And honestly, big biceps have never helped me in the mountains, not once. But having legs, lungs, that's all I care about. And I mean, I'm not in my 20s, so I have less of an ego than I did back then, because maybe I wasn't married and I wanted to look my best. And I thought maybe having bigger arms would, but whatever, man. If people are working out, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Whether they're doing strength or hypertrophy or endurance or some sort of hybrid. But yeah, I'd like to see you do a little bit of Elkshape training.
Yeah.
When you're ready, let us know. We'll get you a membership, and I think you should sprinkle it in. Don't change your running. Keep doing your goals and just see what that does for you. Where I wanted to end this podcast is, like, you are on Instagram going very viral, is what you said. So I believe Jeff said to me yesterday that, hey, do you remember that guy that wants to come over and do Murph with us? Because I think you guys had talked about coming over to doing Murph.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I remember that guy. And he's like, yeah, well, he's in town tomorrow. Do you want to like work out with him? And I was like, of course, like whoever, let's go.
Yeah.
And then Jeff said, yeah, man, his Instagram's blowing up. I think he's at 75,000 followers. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And he's like, Cam just shared one of his things. And I was like, oh, wait, is it him running down a street? And he's like, yep. I was like, I saw that. I saw that on Cam's page.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yep, that was me.
Okay, so tell me, what is your Instagram handle?
It's Nate_Illinghsworth.
Okay.
Yep.
Straight. I'll leave a link in the show notes, guys. How many? You have 75K-ish?
Yeah, like I think I just like went past 75. It's like 75, 76, something like that.
All right. So one of the things that I've seen on your Instagram is that you take the time out of your day to read haters' comments. I've done mean tweet type vibe thing before. Be honest, man, some of your haters, it's brutal what they write. Is that what's your approach to that?
Yeah, like, so I don't know. Like, first off, I get more positive comments than I get negative comments. People are awesome. I get like there's people reach out to me all the time. They're like, dude, you gave me the confidence to go on a run with my shirt off today. Like, dude, you gave me the confidence to get back into this thing. And
That's
like that's
powerful.
awesome. I
That's
love
powerful.
that. Yeah, it's super powerful. And like I don't know, I'm just a dude, and like to hear people say that is so humbling. Like
Right.
that is awesome. But the hate comments thing, I noticed that I was getting a few, and I was like, dude, like, because I do not care. You could say the worst thing that you could imagine to me, and it will not affect my day, like, even a little bit. Some of them I actually think, like, people get pretty creative, and it's funny. I would say, like, 99% of my hate comments are about my man boobs, but...
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Okay.
But I started making this segment where I just do, like, I'm shooting my bow and reading hate comments, and... It's cool. Like, I'll post a hate comment, and people in the comments of that video will like, dude, get something better to do than comment on a guy that's trying to improve himself. So it's cool.
They defend you in what you're up to. Yeah, okay.
And maybe I'm going about it the wrong way, but my idea behind those videos is this. If you want to do something to better yourself, there's not going to be someone doing better than you that ever says anything. You know, like when I'm at
That's
the start line,
1,000% true.
yeah. Like if I'm at the starting line of an ultra marathon and I don't look like everyone else that weighs 120 pounds, no one that I can tell has done a lot of ultras is ever going to look twice at me and say anything negative. They're going to be like, dude, how many of these have you done? This is so awesome that you're here. Good luck out there today. Like, they see that you're trying. And people online, I want to encourage people, post the videos. Like, do whatever you want. Be vulnerable online. And if someone says something to you, just water off the duck's back. Like,
Yeah.
Don't care about it, because that person is in a pretty negative mental spot if they're going to type a hate comment like that on your page when you're trying to do better.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that it sounds like you understand how this world works, because I can guarantee what you said is gospel. Like, there is nobody who's like going to go out of their way to try to bring you down, no matter how mean they can be. And it's impressive how mean people can be with their comments. I get it. I see it. But I've never seen somebody that I look up to who's killing it, who is laying out a formula, a pathway of a life that I would want to live. Anyone that I potentially would even have any envy of will never talk shit to me. They will never take time out of their day. In fact, I would challenge anyone to find where I go out of my way to talk shit about anyone. I don't have time to talk shit. I don't want to talk shit. I have my own shit to worry about. And what I mean by that is, like, I got a lot of weaknesses, man. I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. Like, I got a lot of work to do. There's more potential. There's more juice to get some squeeze. Like, there's some squeezing to be done. And the last thing that I want to do is take time out of my day to be mean to somebody to make myself feel better. Like, it's so elementary to me. So I'm really, you can see my vibe change. I'm really excited that you understand that. The boob comment thing like that or whatever. The fat shaming stuff, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a hot button of mine, but like, I've never been overweight. I've helped a bunch of people not be overweight for almost most of my life. And I guess I'm just passionate about their desire to be the best version of themselves. And I just glad to hear that that's not going to just like put out your fire.
No,
you won't let it.
Like, at the end of the day too, it's like, dude, you guys can say whatever you want to me online. Like, I know I'm doing more than you. You're not running ultras right now. You're not in the gym as much as I am. Like I'm working hard. Like, I've got a bunch going on. Like, I'm really content with like everything I have going on. Like, so yeah, it just doesn't really affect me. I really, like, I have a buddy that I actually sold with one summer, and I remember one day I was having just like a rough day, and I went up to him. I was like, Jake, dude, like, what do you do, dude? Like, everyone out here is just brutal. Like, I'm getting torn apart, like, at work. And he was like, well, dude, I have a nice house. I love my wife. I'm married to an amazing woman. I've got great kids, and I know I'm a good man. So at the end of the day, if someone's rude to me, I don't care, because I just remind myself of that, and then I go on to the next house. And I've like internalized that. I'm like, dude, yeah, like, no matter what happens, I've got an awesome wife. We've got a great life that we built together. and I know I'm putting in work in a bunch of different areas in life. So it's like, dude, you're not gonna say anything to me that I care about, because I have enough like self-confidence built up in what I'm doing. I'm satisfied enough with that, which I'm not satisfied with like who I am. Obviously I'm always trying to get better and improve, but like I'm satisfied with the effort that I'm putting in.
Do you think the recent 75,000 new followers on Instagram is going to add any positive pressure to you to continue to succeed and not let them down?
Yeah, I've noticed that. I was messaging this guy, and he was like, one of the things he said that I thought was cool is he said, dude, social media is awesome because you have a huge accountability group now, and it keeps you accountable with your fitness, with the work that you're putting in, and with what you're doing, because there's like people that are taking their time to watch your stuff, so you're not like wanting to let them down. I kind of think that that's true. Like, like I want to keep doing good, because I don't want to like put out this message and then double back and then become a hypocrite about what I'm saying.
I love that. And then I think in the DMs is a place, as you're probably finding out, where it's pretty tough to keep up if you have, I don't know, a 700 followers like you did in the beginning. And what if all 700 of your followers sent you a DM on the same day? That'd be tough to follow. But
yeah,
now that you have 75K and you are inspiring a lot of people, are you able to keep up with the direct messages?
Probably too much. Yeah, I think I spend too much time on my phone, but
really,
I try to get back to as many people as I can. Yeah,
I respect that. I've always done that too. Is just try to get back to people. You were even telling me I've got back to you.
Yeah, every time I've DM'd you, you always get back to me.
I try, man, and I've always said this. Like I've always like tried to go on other people's podcasts, like who have 3 listeners.
Yeah, and
they've been doing it for a year, and they're like, hey, yes, because I was that guy who had just started a podcast or whatever, and I know that like humility is really biblical, quite honestly, and it can be elusive sometimes when you're like, maybe you got 75K followers in a couple months and you're like, yeah, I'm the man now. But I think you understand that's not a metric of really what matters. You're trying to take care of your body, which you've been given from God.
Yep.
Maybe you didn't take the best care of it.
Yep.
Maybe you didn't have the best genetics, but you're not making any more excuses about it. You're trying to be the best husband to your wife.
Yep.
You're planning on having children. So, dude, that's a whole nother layer of motivation like no other to be successful in all your businesses.
Yeah.
So that you can provide for them, but also still taking care of you so you're the best you. And then now you have an audience. And I think, honestly, you're going to triple, quadruple your following. Like, you'll be giving me advice on how to get like a following. I believe that. I think you're meant for it. I can see the gift. And I think you're just in the shoes of a guy who's doing it, man. Like you're going to inspire so many people, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, but it's just like, dude, everyone can do it. Like everyone has like something cool that like, cause I don't think I have like anything that's cool. Like, dude, I'll make a video and I'm like, dude, this video is not going to do well. It's just whatever. Like, I think it's funny and it'll get like a ton of views. And I'm like, what the crap?
Yeah.
Or this is a soft spot. I know that you probably haven't scrolled my reels. I made the best freaking reel I've ever made in my life the other day, and it flopped.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was heartbroken. But like, dude, that happens. But at the end of the day, dude, everybody has that. Like, I'm not special. Everyone has something cool, and everyone has the ability to do stuff that's cool. And right now is such an awesome time. Like, dude, you guys make money and provide for your family by doing the stuff that we all love doing, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's because you have the drive, the vision, and the work ethic that you've built this brand. And I think everyone has that opportunity right now. It's like, dude, it's just there. Just go do it. Like, if anyone that's like listening right now, you're thinking about like posting content, or like you want to like, you have like this dream or vision, like just start doing it. And if you want help, like message me, like reach out to me. I don't know much about it. Like I don't have like,
but you're fearless.
That's the only thing.
You're fearless.
Like, I just post it. Like I post 4 times a day, usually every day. And it's like, I don't like have like a strategy, but like I'll help you. Like if you like want to like run a video idea past me or something, like I could help you, but it's not like I have like the secret tools or anything. But at the end of the day, like I just want to encourage everybody, like just start doing it. If you want to do something cool, like sign up for an ultra or go on a backcountry elk hunt, just do it and then post about it. Share it with people. Like it's cool. We all have that. Like just start sharing it.
I love that. Okay, so we have the link to your IG. Is there any other platforms you're using?
I'm like really like hit or miss on TikTok. And then like YouTube. I'll post like shorts every once in a while.
Okay. What's your YouTube channel?
Nate_Illinghsworth.
So it's all the same.
Yeah, everything's the same. I'm not gonna come up with like a cool, catchy nickname or anything.
No, just be you.
I'm just gonna be
working.
Nate Illinghsworth forever. I'm not gonna like be Elkshape or anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking Elk Fit though.
Perfect.
Can I steal that?
Or Elk. Yeah, I think you should do it. I struggle with brand and all that all the time. Like, should it just be Dan Staten? And then I'm like, not really, because it's not. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the whole idea of understanding how cool elk hunting is.
Yeah.
And that you can kind of leverage it to make your life better.
Yeah,
like as
totally.
corny as it sounds.
Nope,
but
you
just like you said, like I'm signing up for September, and I've tricked myself to train so hard year round for a couple weeks in the mountain, and it's working, right? I'm still buying into the trick of, oh, I got to work out first, and you are tricking yourself into training for an ultra marathon, but meanwhile you're crushing your goals along the way.
Dude, and that's the thing, like, yeah, you do not have to run freaking ultra marathons or work out CrossFit like a maniac. Like, dude, there's going to be 350-pound guys that hike up to the top of a mountain and don't break a sweat this year, because that, like, you know guys like that, like the blue-collar dudes that for some reason outpace everybody.
Yeah.
There's going to be those guys. Obviously, that's not it, but it's a tool, and it's a cool tool that you can use, because, like, when you get better at one area of your life, you're probably going to start focusing on other areas. You're probably going to maybe grow your relationship with God, grow your relationship with your spouse. Like, you're going to level up in multiple areas, and maybe elk hunting is the tool that you use to do that. Because I mean, it's a really good one. Like,
it is. Yeah.
I'm a terrible elk hunter. Like, dude, I am not good. I'm still cutting my teeth on it.
You've killed some elk.
With a gun. Yep.
Doesn't matter. You've killed some elk, and you're getting more fit. We're about to go find out if you can shoot a bow, and you're like consistent, man. Like I wouldn't bet against you, bro. Guys, this is Nate Dogg in the house. We're going to go shoot some bows. Check him out. Links in the video description, in the show notes. Give him a follow. He's going to blow up, and he's going to continue to inspire people. He's inspired me. Separations in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.